After we go to the dorsiflex kneeling, that's really where we can start to transition into the deep squat. The deep squat, just so you see, I push off and I come back, trying to sort of get those heels on the ground. For my body, I still have to work deeper. I'm still working on opening my back body. I've spent a lot of years as a professional viola player trying to pull back and out and all this, so this tends to be a really tight band on me. So I'm working on introverting, getting that double internal rotation, shoulders elevating, protracting, laterally rotating, so I can deeply curl my sternum and really drop it in. And that's easier for me to sort of hang with my armpits over my knees into that sole of the foot and not feel like I'm gonna fall back, right? So when we're in this deep squat position, Philip Beach notes, and I think that this is super important, that this is one of the only positions naturally that humans are able to traction their low back. You know, we learn from developmental movement patterns that, and I was taught this through the Franklin method. A friend of mine, Josie Bray, who was patient enough to go through many trainings with us, you know, that we have the baby in fetal position, baby looks up to the mother, that creates the cervical lordosis. Baby comes upright in space, that creates that lumbar curve, that lumbar lordosis. So by the time we're, you know, adult human beings, we're used to keeping these, you know, we have that kyphosis of the sacrum, we have the lordosis of the lumbar spine, the kyphosis of the thoracic spine, and the lordosis of the cervical spine. So we have that nice S curve, right? It's sometimes, I mean, not sometimes, it always feels good to get that nice stretch of the low back. This is an early posture of both work and repose, early humans, where you can traction out that low back. You can put that lordosis into a kyphosis. You can stretch it out and hang into that. Instead of just hanging here because my body kind of binds whenever I, you know, fix myself in any one position, I just track the same thing. So I think fourth metatarsal line, fourth toe line of my foot, down my foot, and I just track over it. So I push off, I spiral, I catch. I push off, I spiral, I catch. And I just turn this into a posture, an archetypal posture of oscillation. And this just gives me a chance, again, to breathe into it. Soften the face, let the water drain out. Soften the sternum, hang into it. Let the armpits come further over the knees, really hanging into this posture. You'll notice for my super flat feet, my despiraled body, I just let the arches just collapse. I let everything kind of hang into this right now. To work this with a spiraled, an arch that I can create in my foot functionally, I'll do this one side at a time with the cowboy posture in oscillation, but that's not the purpose of this for now. This really just gives us that nice traction. It helps us to kind of deepen into this introversion, helps to open up that back body. I tuck my chin a little bit, and it just kind of helps the whole spine to kind of hang and slump over, sort of over a barrel so that it can kind of self-stretch. And when we don't have any sort of apparatus or we don't have a tree around to hang off of or anything, it's, you know, you have to have a means of giving yourself this kind of deep hanging stretch. Or I should say that we're fortunate enough to be built in a way that we can give this to ourselves no matter where we are in any room or any setting. So we'll just take another breath here. Good. And again, when I come out of it, I curl in my sternum, I introvert even deeper, and then with control, scoop in pelvic floor, come to the seat, and I'll walk it out again on the butt. Just, again, scoop in pelvic floor, soften the sternum, let the gorilla kind of swing. Just to give a little resonance test, noticing, do I have any little kinks in the chain? Is there anything that's not really integrating? Or are we all kind of able to just swing that force through? Feels kind of calming, down-regulating to our sympathetic nervous system. And that is our full squat in oscillation.